But okay, that on Thursday I played a much more interesting game. A game where I actually was winning at one point, but it was so fucking complicated. It's also losing for a lot of it, so it's why is it going to this position? So I played another NM. So I got a full point buy because I drew 1700 the week before because I was losing and I was like, hey, do you want to draw? And he's like, okay, nice. So I got a full point buy, which was very sad, but Richard offered to give me an extra game, but he was also playing Daniel at the same time. He did a rated simul where he played Daniel on one board and he had black in both games and he played me in the other. So that was nice of him. I was sad. I was not having a good time, and then I got to play chess, so everything was okay. He was a Giga Chat. He lost to Daniel though, but he beat me. That's fine though. Alright, I played e4 and he played b6. I was like, okay, I don't know. Let's just this is putting a pawn in the center. I don't. Bishop b7, knight c3, e6. And at this point, I kind of felt like it was gonna transpose into a French, with b6, which I don't really know that well. Also, I just kind of got move ordered into a line I don't play. So I don't really know what I'm doing here. This is a threat. I can't, not much I can do about it. Play queen e2. Actually knight d2 is a good move here, which does make a lot of sense, and I did consider it. I thought queen e2 seemed more natural. But knight d2 is good because you're breaking the pin, you're defending the pawn, and okay, it's like say he plays c5, could go like this maybe. And I looked at this in another line where I end up with this pawn structure, and I thought that wouldn't be favorable for me, but also maybe it's good because I have the A file. Like, I'm just not sure what's happening here. I don't know, like I was just concerned about things happening here. I don't know, I just didn't find this appealing, but it is good for me, so I don't know what to tell you. So I played queen e2, so I'm just defending a pawn. We played d5, and now we're in a full-blown French type shit. I played e5, knight e4, and this is a threat now, so yeah, in the other scenario I didn't have to give up the bishop pair, but here I do. I have to play bishop d2 to break this pin, and this is apparently not good. Why is that? Interesting. Okay, so queen d2 didn't feel natural to me at all, because I'm just like walking into a pin rather than breaking a pin. But I guess the problem with knight takes, he did play c5. I'm just a little confused because I didn't think c5 was that great. Yeah, it's just the Lichess engine just sucking. It's just, it doesn't know what it's talking. It's at such a low depth. Because it says c5 is the best move, but then once it's played, then the evaluation, like, c5 I thought didn't make that much sense because now I can play queen g4, and I don't know, I just felt like the bishop was kind of cut off from the king, and this was kind of a sticky situation for him now. I didn't mind this at all. He did play quite a bad move here, but say he does like something normal, like I thought g6 was probably a bad move because it's just giving me something to attack. It could possibly do this at some point. So castles is probably a good move. Then I don't know. Maybe I should just go to f3, back to f3. Like, it feels weird that I did this and then this, but I do think that it makes sense here. Just bringing another piece closer to his king. I mean, I liked this. I didn't see what was the big problem here. But okay, he took on d4, which is a blunder. He doesn't spend a whole lot of time, this person. He moves very fast, and he's good at calculating, but sometimes it feels like I mean, like, okay, granted, this time he was playing 2 games at once, but he really spent the same amount of time he always does. So c takes d4. I obviously had to look at all this before I played queen g4. I had to make sure this was good for me. So I take on g7, he takes on c3. I take his rook, he plays king d7. I take queen, king takes queen, b takes c. I guess bishop takes c, and then, like, I put the rook on d1, and then evaluate that position. And the way I evaluated it was I'm up in exchange for nothing, which is true. So I don't really get why he went into this. So I'm just up in exchange here for absolutely nothing. He takes on e5, so okay, he has a pawn for it now. But here we have a big decision to make. Okay, there's a hanging pawn on h7, but is it, like, should we take it or not? Is that worth it? Or should we just play a normal move, like, I don't know, castling or something? What is White's plan? By Scandi themed sub-simul, do you mean I would have to play it or everyone would have to play it against me? Yeah, like, okay, my thinking was, of course it makes sense to take a hanging pawn, especially when it makes a pass pawn for me. I mean, seems pretty good. But is f5 doing anything? Is that something I should be concerned with or not? Yeah, I mean, the h-pawn is worth a lot. But okay, I did take on h7, and that is best. So he plays f5 here, which, worst case scenario, I'm still gonna, like, I might have g4 in a lot of cases if my bishop is getting trapped, but it shouldn't. It shouldn't happen. Then I blundered immediately. I'm like +2 here, and I played a move that's just like equal. Or even maybe I'm like slightly worse. I did it because I just had the weirdest oversight ever. So castling is obviously what I should do. So just put a rook on e1, and this e6 pawn is backwards and easy to attack. It's just a target. His king's in the center. He still has these pieces to develop, and I'm just up material. Like, just up material. But instead, I played knight f3. And I think it was because I didn't realize that this was check. Like, in my head, I didn't think the move order mattered, whether I played castle and then knight f3, or knight f3 then castle. But I played knight f3, and he might hear, and I'm like, oh fuck, I'm in check. And the problem is, after king e2, he has bishop a6. I have to put my king on e3, and it's like, okay, my king is not like terrible there, I guess, but these bishops are really, really strong. I mean, they're constricting my play. It's just not necessary to let this happen, because now this rook is hard to develop. This rook like isn't doing anything. This knight isn't even really well placed either, and my king is on e3. So that was a pretty fucking bad move, I gotta say. Not my best decision I've ever made. But okay, he plays knight d7, and his plan is to do this. And it's like, okay, maybe now after I played it like this, now my bishop maybe is in trouble. So the thing about this game was, yeah, I'm up material, but practically I'm a little worse. All his pieces are better than mine. Play is easier. And I have to basically play only moves for a long time. I had to find a lot of omens. So white to play here, I'd not be worse. Pause the video here if you need to. I really wanted to play knight d4, but there's a pretty big problem with that. I mean, if he takes it, obviously I'm doing amazing. He just plays king e7, and now my knight is just like over here, and it's not doing anything. And it's just like praying that someone tries to kill it. Like I probably have to like play g4 or something. But yeah, I can't. Did you sack the bishop? No, I did. It's not that hard of a move to find. You just have to, I don't know, man. h4. So, plays knight f6, and then what is our plan? No, I'm not black, I'm white. I have the white pieces here. So h4 doesn't really take care of the threat. Knight g5, king e7. It's kind of weird because I basically came to the same conclusion, but with like a different move order. I played knight g5. Okay, this is a tempo. And now I transposed into that other line. So I found knight g5. I don't think I played the best, or I guess I did actually. I'm just remembering this game. So, okay, so he's still threatening that. Okay, I remember, yeah, okay, I was remembering something. I only played this game on Thursday, but for some reason I've already forgotten a lot of my thought process during. Okay, so knight g5 is best, and you have to follow it up with g4, which is what I did. Yeah, and this is the threat, but here, okay, so he takes it. Now, if we think about it, thanks for the Twitch Prime 94259. That's a very interesting name. Okay, so if I was gonna be down a pawn for the exchange, or up in exchange for a pawn, however you want to say it, it would make sense to not even take on h7, get into. But to be fair, that wasn't the mistake. It was knight f3. Knight f3 was stupid. Here, I didn't play the best move. I got confused. I found the right idea, but I did not do it in the right way. You have to play another. Well, I guess there's two moves that are okay. But how to follow up with this? So we gave him a pawn back, but our bishop is free and honest chess player. Thanks, I guess. Because I've really fucked up my position a lot. I made this way harder than it needed to be. h4 and hope that he doesn't know en croissant. Well, Tagbon, you're halfway there. I played h4, which is not a good move. The reason I played h4 though was because I wanted him to take en passant. Because if we look at this position, now I'm doing okay here. Because at least I activated my It's probably equal, but I wanted him to take that way. But he doesn't have to. He can just do something else, which is what he did, which is really annoying. So instead, just playing h3, you know, en passant is actually not forced when you hit NM. So I should have known that he wouldn't take it. And I should have played h3. Then it would have been this position. I would have been doing well here. I don't have to take this right away either. I could do some, you know, I can. It's annoying that I say I can hold this because I'm up in exchange, but yeah, that's how bad I made my position. I have to say that. At h4 is just, I thought it made sense because, like, okay, even if he doesn't take it, then I have a passed pawn and I moved it forward 2 squares. That's gotta be helpful at some point in the endgame. I thought that would end up being useful. But, it gets all complicated and fucked up, and I didn't know what was happening. It was a goddamn disaster. Alright, so he plays knight f6. If I just play bishop d3, he plays bishop b7, and this is a large threat, and it's just not fun at all. So, I came up with this, bishop g6, and I wanted to maybe play... If something like this, I could go here. That wouldn't be good, obviously. But I kind of wanted to get behind this pawn, and then if he ever pushes it, then I at least take away one of his very strong center pawns. But, he could just play e5 right now. And I don't have time to play bishop f7, obviously, because he's threatening mate. This is the nasty mate threat. Alright, so I don't have much of a choice. I have to play bishop d3, because I have to make a square for my king. Plays bishop b7, and, you know, again, this is very strong. And I do like my move a lot here. I'm very happy with what I came up with, but there's some annoying things to be noted. So d4 is the threat. I would like to be able to move my rook off of that diagonal, because otherwise... But the annoying thing is, I can't play rook h2 because of this nasty g3 move. And, like, if I just go back, then he has e4, and my bishop is close to getting trapped. And this is just a terrible situation. So how do I solve both of those problems, is the question. Yeah, bishop f5. So bishop f5, you know, he can't play e4 and shut my bishop in. And I'm now the knight is kind of stuck here because I'm eyeing the g4 square. So I am losing here. I feel like I'm defending okay. And also d4, when he plays d4, I play king e2. If he takes here, I'm very happy. That would be great. I would love to just give the exchange back because I just fucked my position that badly that giving it back would be great for me. You know, yeah, it's like, I don't know, it's kind of an unbalanced position, but it's opposite colored bishops. It'll probably be a draw. So taking is actually a bad move. So instead, he played e4. So the point of e4 is that he really wants to play d3, I guess. I mean, d3 here is bad, but what is the point? I don't remember. I remember thinking something in the game, but I don't remember what it is now. Well, I mean, at the very least, he's just advancing his pawn, taking more space. It's not a bad... Okay, but, I played rook b1 because I wanted to make another square for my king in case of this move. Oh yeah, that was the threat. This is the threat. I remember now. It all makes sense. He's threatening mate again. That's what it was. Okay, I remember. Okay, so I played rook b1 to defend against that, so I can go here. And he plays rook d8, and this is kind of an annoying threat, so... Also this is it. So if I move my rook off of this rank, at first it looks like d3 takes, you know, I have to take with the bishop, and then this is hanging, so I have to stay here. But if I put my rook on b3, that's not really the case because I can take this bishop too. So I'm also sort of defending against d3 like that, and you know, at some point if I have to, I will take on c3 if the time is right, and maybe that endgame would even be good for me, depending on where all the pieces are. It might even be favorable for me to take and have his pawn structure all fractured and I have a pass pawn. Maybe. Probably not, but, you know, maybe. Then he plays rook d5, which is very annoying, but fortunately I have bishop e6, and after rook e5, which is a mistake because of what I played. Rook e5 allows bishop c4, I guess. I don't know, it's saying dubious, but I don't get it. Why bad? Oh, interesting. Rook takes a3 is good here. Really? And then bishop c4. Okay, but in this case, it's the best move, but, like, I mean, I'm still -2. So if I'm gonna be losing, like, I'm gonna keep some pieces on the board, I think, to make it more complicated. So I just play bishop c4 right now, because now he doesn't have bishop a6, so my bishop has gone from h7 to g6, and then to here, then to here, then to here, then to here. But it's good on this square now. Now it's actually doing something. It's actually being a little bit helpful. And so I was starting to feel a little less hopeless here. Yeah, and if this ever happens, then I'm fine with this. If he takes here, like this is just equal. So then he went bishop a5, which is a pretty good move. Like at first I was having trouble understanding it, but he's just getting out of the way, so this isn't, I guess I shouldn't have had trouble understanding it, but I did. Yeah, and then I played rook d1 because now this is a threat. And then he played e3, which is a blunder. So black to play and win. Only one move wins, and everything else is about equal. So that's why I keep pieces on the board. Like, I mean, yeah, I could have gone for rook takes c3, but against the human, making it, if you're worse, keeping it as complicated as possible might be your best bet in some cases. Because he has to be really accurate. Especially in my case, where he was playing two people at once, and his time was like, I mean, I still had like half the time that he had somehow. But so it's plus 2.7, round up to plus 3 for fun, sure. Black to play. It's like here, I'll flip the board to make it easier at least. Yeah, I did it on purpose for content, sure. That's why I didn't castle, of course. I mean it's kind of a puzzle, yeah. It's just a move that tactically wins. Not an easy move. Ooh, thanks Anonymous for the gift sub. Pog. Hello Tristan. Where are all your badges? Are you not even a VIP? I'll make you a VIP. There you go. Yeah, so d4 is hanging. This is true. What do you want to do about that? Neither one of us saw this. It's very pretty though. You can un-VIP yourself. Oh, that's probably what he did. Okay, I haven't seen the right move yet. Oh wait, no, someone did say it. I just didn't see it at first. Alright, we have knight d5, rook c5, bishop c3, b5, bishop d5, a6, d. So, okay. So I'll look at it. So every move besides the best move is just about equal. D3 is not working at all. I don't really, I mean, you're just giving me pawns, and then, you know, my pieces are actually pretty well placed now, and white is better. I mean, this bishop sucks. I have a passed pawn. And I'm still up in exchange in this variant, so yeah, d3 is not so good. Knight d5 is, I guess, is this, yeah. Say I still take here. Now I'm threatening this, so you have to move the knight somewhere. If you play knight c3 check, maybe king e, and you're just losing steam now at this point. So people are saying rook c4, which is not a legal move. I assume they mean rook c5. Rook c5 is correct, but I don't know if we're seeing fully why. Okay, so rook c5. And say I just take on d4, then what? I mean, obviously, if white tries to move this bishop, then we take on c2, and we're just win. So rook d4. Exactly. Rook takes c4, bishop a6, and this because of this bishop on a5, he can't defend the rook in any way, and he can't bring the king in because of this pawn. So you're just winning this. I thought that was pretty brutal, and now I have two bishops for a rook. Black is win. So yeah, that is why rook c5. But he didn't see that. To be fair, it was, you know, we were both low on time, and he was playing a whole nother chess game. So he played e3. Yeah, okay. I accidentally gave something away. Alright. I missed something at the end of this line. But yeah, I couldn't find a reason why I shouldn't take on d4. Like, I didn't get why I can't. So I have two good moves here, I think. Maybe I have more, but I only see two good moves, maybe three. But okay, so option one was just be taking on e3. It's just very simple. And if he takes, I mean, we're doing great there. But he has this annoying bishop c3 move. I also was unsure of what was happening after rook g5 in some lines, because of this bishop I would have to go up and I wouldn't be able to defend my rook. But the g-pawn is also attacking the knight, so it's like, it was just very complicated. But here, oops, I guess he just goes there. This is just nothing for black. I mean, I can just take. But what is the problem with rook d4? Because it looked to me like black's position is falling apart here. There's one move that is good for black, one move that's equal, and then one move that then everything else loses. E takes f2, king takes f2. Then what? b5, bishop b6. Well, okay, but in this case, okay, so takes, king takes, b5, takes, rook takes, bishop b6, king e3, takes, take. I mean, this pawn might be kind of scary, but... Oh, I guess I have c3 there. That's the problem. Yeah, c3 is more accurate than... Oh, I actually did look at this line before. It's already... Yeah, c3. If knight d5, then... What did I put in? I put king... And white is actually better here. Looks like, at least. So yeah, there's that. So I just missed it. I didn't get it. So after e takes f2, king takes f2, there's bishop e1 check. which is really, really nasty. I'm under 5 minutes here, and I can either put my king on f1 or g1. One loses on the spot. I made the right decision. So, I mean, it's not that hard, but where would you put your king? F1 or G1? Bishop B1 is really nasty. I didn't see it. So F1 loses by force. Bishop takes H4. Rook E1 is the threat of checkmate, and the knight's hanging. So you just lose a piece. So that's like, I saw that, and I was like, okay, I don't have time to calculate the other square, but it can't be any worse than that. So I played king G1, and I was fully expecting bishop takes H4, and I didn't really know what I was gonna do there after that. Like, I think I have knight f3 somehow, just because of this. I wasn't sure, though. But then he played g3, which was very surprising. And now I'm actually doing fine here. So g3, I have one move that doesn't... I only have one move that doesn't lose here. So white to play and draw. You can't say that I get boring positions, at least. I may play the opening like an asshole, but at least I get interesting positions every game. So this is the threat, right? Also this. Like, there's a lot going on here. Alright, so knight f3. I did consider knight f3, but still I think he goes here. And then, I mean, I don't know, there's not really a good place for my king. King g2. Now this is pinned. Now we can take here and he can't take back. So at the very least, there's that. So knight f3 is not working. Knight h3. Knight h3 is actually leads to, like, this. It's really pretty. Okay, so black to play and win here. And it gets wild. This was fun. I was doing this with Josh. Josh suggested h3, and we were trying to figure out what was wrong with it. But yeah, there is a problem. We just have to see kind of far ahead. So black only has one winning move. Almost on every move, one move wins. Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's just like that's just how positions I get. I don't particularly enjoy it, especially in this time control, but it is fun to look at after. Bishop f2, rook e1, bishop f1, g2. Okay, after g2, there is a defense there. g2, rook e3 check, but it keeps going. So after rook e3 check, what do you have? I'll show it on the board in a minute. Rook takes e3, bishop takes g2. Then what? Does black have a winning move there? It's just like, it's also because you have to fight rook e3, which is like rook e3, rook takes e3, bishop takes g2, rook g3. Yeah, you have rook g3 at the end. So I'll play that out on the board. So bishop f2 takes, rook e1, bishop f1, g2. And the only way to defend here is rook e3 check. You take on g2, and it looks like white might be doing just fine, but unfortunately there's rook g3 at the end here, winning another piece. So black would be winning after knight h3. Now, I didn't see that in the game. I just, like, kind of I don't know, like, I found a move that I thought looked good, and I just played it. So I didn't figure out why the other moves were bad. I just, like, looked at a move, and I was like, okay, I don't see anything wrong with this. So we still need to find white's only move. I'm gonna scroll up and see if someone said it and I missed it, because that's entirely possible. I don't think so. I wouldn't mind losing this game. Yeah, especially against them. I mean, like, I did feel bad because of playing knight f3, that was pretty ridiculous. I mean, that was a pretty big choke. But rook d1, bishop f2, king f1 is forced, and then I have knight g4 or something. This kind of looks hard to defend. I don't really even see, maybe knight f3. Bare minimum, I have knight e3 check here. Maybe there's something better. So rook d1's not helping. Knight f3, well, knight f3, I wouldn't take it. I would play bishop f2. We already looked at this, and now this is pinned, and it's just, I can take here at the very least. Rook f4 to play rook takes f2. Okay, I played rook f4. Rook f4 is the only move that doesn't lose. And yeah, well, if bishop f2, then I have to take it. I don't have a choice, otherwise I get checkmated. And, you know, this position, I thought I might win. I thought I had pretty good winning chances here. I don't know what the evaluation says, but I feel like I maybe win when we both don't have that much time. So he didn't play bishop f2. He played bishop c6, like a little waiting move, which is very annoying because, okay, I like just blundered it, or I guess I did. Oh, okay. I guess knight f3 was fine, but then he plays bishop f2, and I was thinking, okay, king f1 or king g2. King f1 might be accurate here because he won't have this because this won't be pinned, but I wasn't sure. And I had like 3 minutes left, so I was like, I don't know, I'll just play king g2, which I'm not losing or anything, but yeah, now he plays rook e1. I mean, I could have just not allowed that. Could have just played king f1. I don't know. But rook e1 is here now. Now I played bishop e5, which I thought was a pretty good move because he was threatening to play rook g1 and if king h3, bishop d7. So the point of bishop b5 is that he can't retreat back to d7, so I take that square away from him. Also, if he unpins my knight, that would be great. And if he goes here, then just play bishop c4 and like repeat moves if he wants to. And then in my head, I was like, okay, and he can never play bishop e7 because of rook c3, defending this square and threatening this. But there's a slight problem with rook c3. So there you go. If I just play like bishop f1 here, it's like equal, but it's still miserable for me. I mean, it's just not it's not fun. I still have to play like really accurate moves every single move. But yeah, I just played rook c3 because it was, and then he went here. It's like, listen, it could be worse. Wait, okay, I was in a different line. All right, knight d5 apparently isn't that good here. Okay, so what black should do here is rook g1, king h3, rook h1, king g2, rook h2, king f1, bishop c5. I don't get it. Oh, he just has g2. I didn't see g2. That's really fucked. I don't know what else to say. G2 is like unstoppable. Can't go like that. The knight's in the way. It's like, that's nasty. Wow. Okay. So that's what he should have done, but like I don't blame him at all for not seeing. I mean, this like why wouldn't you go? But I tried not to give up because at least I have knight e1, king f1. So I'm not losing here. I should lose. I think I lose this every time. But okay, after knight d6, I just blundered. But if I play h6, I wouldn't say it's easy for him to win this. He still has to play only moves. So bishop e4 is the only move that still is holding an advantage. But then I have knight f8, take c2, knight g5, should be just going through these. And then black has to win this endgame. The table base just says unknown. Like it's just unclear if what this should be. It has all these moves in here, but it doesn't say win, lose, draw like it normally. I mean, I should lose this for sure. These bishops are very strong and I'm down a pawn. But like, I don't know. I mean, maybe I could hold this when we're in time pressure. But yeah, instead of playing h6, I played knight d3 and missing bishop. I did not see bishop e3. And the problem is that now I cannot stop g2. Because before g2 I had king f2, but this move I moved rook and then g2. So I resigned here. But it was just like, it was annoying because it was so fucking complicated. I had to spend all my time and then I, you know, kind of consolidated a little bit and wasn't worse, but then I didn't have any time. So I had to play instantly. But that's just the time control. That's how it goes. And I'm just, my endgame skills are just, my endgame and intuition is garbage. Plus I just like hung a fork, which was not good. Yeah, that's another thing with that endgame. Like I could sack my bishop for the dark squared, or sack my rook for the dark squared bishop and get my king over here maybe. Like it might be a draw that way. It might be hard to not stalemate and like give me a super rook or something. So yeah, I'm still not even sure about that endgame. It might be an interesting endgame to look at. But yeah, I was just glad to have a game and not have a full point buy, because that's what it looked like I was gonna have. So I was sad that I played knight f3, but I was happy that I played chess. There you go. I think those were the only games I played. Yeah, but it's fine. I lost like 10 rating, or like 15 rating points, I think, from that tournament. It's tough above 2,000 because, well, okay, I dropped a draw, but you like lose rating points if you perform at your rating, I noticed. It sucks. I'm not talking about this tournament, but just in general.